Outside, inside. I'm figuring that it's not below 32 degrees because the water in the dog's bowl didn't freeze. Thank goodness for a pile of thick blankets and a nice warm doggy. Right, warm doggy? Some people just want to see the world burn. Something that we all know as we sit around and don't do anything about it. What am I talking about? What they're trying to do in Virginia. Anybody who is under the impression that what they're trying to accomplish in Virginia is all about public safety has been completely misled and taken in. Somebody wants a conflict in this country, and they're willing to go to great lengths up to and including setting up some kind of trap for law-abiding citizens who believe in their rights to defend themselves to do so. Yeah, it might sound unlikely. That's exactly what's going on as we sit and do nothing. So what happens if we allow ourselves to be disarmed? To put it quite simply, we allow ourselves to be defenseless. And unfortunately, what most people don't realize or acknowledge, each and every one of us has already been profiled for what our reactions will be should the government or the powers that be want to come along and screw with us. You've already been categorized, scrutinized, and someone has decided ahead of time, more than likely some AI program, how you'll react when someone comes knocking on your door to take the rest of your rights. What most people aren't willing to even think about is that your digital footprint gives an impression of you more detailed than even your friends know. The social media companies and anybody who's involved with the electronic industries knows more about you as an individual than your family does. So they've already decided who's going to go along and who's not. Who's down for looking the other way and who's not going to. Based on the things that you said, the posts that you made, the people that you roll with, the things that you buy, and so forth and so on. my opinion, everything that is attempting to be done has been put on an accelerated pace because the wrong person was elected to hold office as the President of the United States. And should we allow ourselves to be bullied, pushed around, and taken over? It's our own damn fault. And we deserve exactly what we get. And what we get will be horrifying, will be terrifying. And those of you who weren't willing to take a stand along the way will be the first ones to be terrorized. Do you really think they're going to come after people like me first? I don't think so. They're going to pick off the ones who they've classified as being easy to subdue. Because they already know that there's way more of us than there are of them. And they're going to go after the low-hanging fruit first to try and even the numbers. Exactly how that's going to be done, I couldn't tell you for sure. But I'm pretty sure the United Nations troops will probably have something to do with it. But they're not going to be knocking on my door first. They're more than likely to be tapping on yours. Because they know you'll just throw up your hands and go along peacefully. Because that's the profile that they have on you. Because most people don't understand the fact that when you lose your fear of death, that's when you're really living. But if you're willing to live as a dog under somebody else's feet just to survive, that ain't no life at all. Or at the very least, that's what the people in this country should have been raised to believe. So enjoy your freedom while you have it. But when the day comes and somebody knocks on your door to take it away and you let it happen, you ain't getting it back. Because you weren't willing to raise your voice before it came to that point. Use the limited freedoms that were available to you at the time in order to avoid that happening. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a crying damn shame. Because I did everything to at least open the eyes of 173 people who were more than happy to sit on the sidelines and watch it all happen. else's narrative so that they didn't have to get involved, so that they didn't have to stand up, not necessarily for the people who are in charge, but for the document that founded this country and the things that we should all believe in, being citizens of that country. Because in the end, if you really look at it, this ain't about left or right, liberal or Democrat. It has more to do with the Constitution and what we should all believe, and the effort to educate those who weren't, at the very least, taught the right way. Because it's pretty damn obvious that someone else has been teaching the young people another system and misleading them about the pitfalls of that system along the way in an effort to undermine the whole damn thing. So I'll close with this, and I've said this before, and more than likely I'll end up saying it again. When it's gone, it's gone. And it's more than likely ain't coming back without a huge freaking fight. And if we allow ourselves to be defenseless along the way, it ain't coming back at all. And that's what motivates a lot of what goes on these days. And should that be allowed to happen, we don't have anybody to blame for that collectively, except ourselves. So take some time and remember what it was like to be free. And remember what you didn't do along the way, so you can tell the stories to the young people who may one day have to try and reclaim it, so they won't make the same mistakes that others did.